Yeah. Welcome to the Oscar Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Arts Bar Podcast. We have got a special tonight because we have got some very special guests all the way from Leeds coming over to do an Arts Bar live session.
Yorkshire. Your roots, mate, your true ends. Did they know this? Did they know that your ends like?
I think I talk about it enough, to be honest, mate. Yeah, I do.
Bradford, mate. One of so first thing. Sorry to hijack it already. It won't be like this. But one of the first things trying to find a venue, which was winding me up, was I was getting in touch with loads of places like here, London. No one was replying back, like email wise. And I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna that Bradford mentality. Just get on my twos and just go and fucking call in places. And I called here, and straight away we got chatting. I was like, "Where's your accent from?" It was like, "Bradford, where's yours, mate?" I was like, "Fuck off, mate!" And like, that was it. That's how we got booked. Anyone from Bradford want to get booked in Liverpool? Just say Bradford, mate. That's it, innit?
I'm here with Ben. Introduce yourself.
I'm Bradford. Nah, I go by the name Ben Random, and honestly, bro, I appreciate you having us every time, mate. Thank you. Beautiful venue in the city, man.
And come on, explain why you're here. What do you do?
I am a light vessel here to spark the soul of a generation, and I do that through creative mediums. And here tonight at Arts Bar Baltic, me and my boys Silverton Rascals going to take over the stage, perform a few songs for you. We played back here in, I believe, May. Amazing space, just good souls, good vibes, and can be pretty stripped back for what it is, but people still give you the attention and are really attentive, and that's all we can ask for, man.
It's good, man. I mean, when you first messaged, I think your band name struck me straight away. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, let's have a little read. And then, obviously, you came in, popped in, had a chat, and did the gig back in earlier in the year. And then tonight is kind of about going... The Arts Bar Live thing came out of going... Out of lockdown, we were like, let's just get people in and recording them. And it was all behind closed doors, and it was good, but I just don't think we got that vibe. So we've started doing it with a couple of bands a night. We get all the content that you need. We have a gig. People can come and see you. But actually, it's about going, let's get some content for people, but let's expose people to different genres of music that they won't normally come out and see. And then we're just setting up currently for Midnight Pharmacy.
Midnight Pharmacy, my boys. Shout out Liam and Si.
We're going to have a chat with them in a little bit.
Yeah,
but I'm really interested just to kind of know your journey. So how you kind of got into music, and then how you've got... Obviously, we're in Liverpool tonight, but you've been all over the country in the last couple of months and that. So I just want to hear a bit about where it all started for you, coming up to now, and then what's maybe in the future for you. I know we've had a bit of a conflab earlier, but...
I love the fact that also you said, and that is proper Bradford. What's your things and that?
I'm going to get stick, because everyone will say that I've gone more Bradford. And
Yeah, 100%, bro. Come on, man. And that, yeah. So, firstly, it's really important for us to have a base or some reference point in Liverpool. During lockdown, my boys, Josh, and then Mark from Sparrow Radio, they reached out to me, and I would do radio shows on there, and they'd become real good mates. And from that moment, I've always had an affinity to the city. I really just enjoy even getting off the train just now. Like, I had loads of like food waste on me, and just like this guy who's just like with his rubbish like trolley. I was like, mate, like, can I put that in this? Sorry about this. Go ahead, lad. Of course you can, lad. Go on. Just put it in, lad. It's all right. It's all right. Just like good souls, man. Do you know what I mean? No matter where they are, who they are, they'll just give you a time of day. And I just think like Liverpool, because I DJ in Manchester a lot, and I feel like Liverpool's very much everyone can get the right of way until you fuck someone off, and then you just ostracize. Whereas Manchester, it's like, show me what you've got and we'll give you the keys. And I just love the friendliness of Liverpudlians, and I just think there's a real creative edge here. I just think it's the right edge. It reminds me of Bradford in a weird way.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's got like a scally edge, but a nice scally edge, like a respectful scally edge. Do you know what I mean?
People will give you a chance. People will listen to you, and like you say, they'll also scorn you for it. So you've got to make sure that you just are yourself.
If you're going to do it, you better deliver, because you've called it. Otherwise, you get called out on. And that's just authentic. And I think there's a lot of people in this city that are real. And I think like that's what I love about it. And I'm just grateful that, you know, yourself, Sparrow, and then people that I've met through that side of it as well. I'm just I think aligned with the right people with the right vision in the right city. Do you know what I mean? And also with what we're aligning to do with take it not just nationally but globally. Do you know what I mean? Australia, America, fucking everywhere, really.
So did you start off DJing? Was that your first kind of dipping your toe into music, or were you a musician before, or both?
Nah, man. Like, I think I'd probably say my first thing was a creative writer, writing scripts, doing stand-up comedy, and I think that's helped with my wit in my lyrics, but also the depth of what I talk about. So when I did stand-up, I took a 3-year hiatus because I like be quite explicit on this.
Yeah.
Like, I got fucked up on weed and my mind went, and I needed like a bit of a hiatus. But I knew that when I was coming back to stand-up, the beauty of stand-up is you can talk about...
How long were you doing stand-up before you had the hiatus? I didn't know
5
this.
years.
We
About
didn't speak
5
about
years.
this.
Yeah.
So
Probably
you did
about
you
5,
did
6
5 years.
Yeah. I reckon I did stand up from 07 to like 2013, but 2011 I lost my head. And then it were really weird, like, I couldn't be as free. So if someone was heckling, I'd go back at them, but then my mind's like, oh, you've been too tight.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be free of just like being
Not
a
in the
performer,
moment
you know what I'm
kind of
saying?
thing, yeah.
And that's what you need to be.
And do you think that were the drugs, or do you think that was, yeah?
Too much weed, man, like psychosis, paranoia, the birthings of that. But then allowing that to fester and understand my own mind and work my way back from it to understand how my mind operates, and then knowing what my trigger points are, and then also learning that you can build yourself back from that, and then understanding in a cathartic sense and a vicarious sense for people through my art. If I can articulate this in a manner that people will be able to resonate with that are going through it, might not be able to put it in certain terms. If I can put it in a way, be it on stage or in music, and people can release themselves or connect with it, not only are they getting their moment of clarity through that, but then the realization is the reason they're feeling that is that I've been through that and I've overcome it to be in that situation to present what I'm presenting to them. So it's not just me saying it, I'm actually living in my paradise of where I'm at beyond the points of what I've overcome. So if people can feel what I'm saying, don't just look at it like the words that are resonated, look at it from the position that it's coming from and feel like, fucking hell, he was there, mate. Like, rock bottom was the scariest, the most enlightening place I've ever been, do you know what I mean? But then at the same point, to overcome that and be able to look back at it and create from that and put that out there, I think is super special.
And is that where music came from, directly from that, or was that going back into stand-up with a clean head?
Yeah, stand up with a clean head, really.
Stand up with a clean head, and then going, all right, cool, I understand where I've been, I understand how to get myself out of it, and try and pass on whatever information I can or like knowledge I can. And then, did that bleed into the music and the poetry, or is it a completely separate kind of thing in your brain? 'Cause it's interesting, as creatives, you feel like you sometimes put yourself in a bit of a barrier with like, I'm a stand-up, I'm a singer, I'm a this.
I never did that.
Cool.
And I think that's where the difference is when I was writing, if I wrote something and it didn't fit for stand-up, but it still had a certain twang or a certain cadence, I knew it'd be poetry or song lyrics or a beat. Now, I've loved music for all my life. Like, weirdly, talking to my mum about it, like, the first gig she took me to was E17, and I still regard Tony Mortimer as one of the greatest songwriters, or at least the most impressionable songwriters for me. Do you know what I mean? And then, obviously, you got people like Mike Skinner, and then, well, obviously, when this is going out, I don't know if you should say the name, but Jay-Z. And just like, there's a lot of people that have like, you know, music that I've loved, DMX, like there's a lot of music that has gone out, but there's a lot of comedians. And I just think for me, it's taste and it's tone and it's what I want to talk about. And then it's learning these various mediums to know how to nail the points that I want. So comedy, I can drift around and go on and bring it back. And that's the skill, you know what I mean? With music, it's a wit of a lyric, but the depth of a lyric that both can sit next to each other, that one doesn't make light of the other, but one don't make it too deep than the other. And I love the mastery of that. And I've always been writing, but to be fair, one of my boys, Midnight Pharmacy, Sai, that's my guy, Rocker Sai, and he's a proper musician, like his vocals mint and everything like that. And I always got imposter syndrome around him and all my other mates, musical mates, and I just sort of kept it low-key that I was writing, you know, like you say, people, you do that, you do that. To me, it was never that. I'm here to spark a soul of a generation from my creative output. But then, as lockdown finished, I met my boy, who he's not here, but he's part of the band, founding member, Killian Carroll. Met him at a festival, All Points East, 2021, one of the first festivals we'd gone to after lockdown to see Foles, and I didn't know him at this point. I just got fucked up at the festival. I'll save. This is. Should I give you the full version? It's all good. It's calm, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Cool. It's still recording, yeah.
I'll give you a medium version. So basically, we've gone to see Foles. I'd gone down to Victoria's Festival before. Literally the Saturday and the Sunday. Streets Red Line on the Saturday. Sorry, Mike Skinner's my guy. Like, we're a mix of LCD Sound System, The Streets, and Outcast. So Mike Skinner's my guy. On the Sunday, Sheet were redlining. So I meant to take this last down. She binned me off. And then I got to meet up with some mates down there and met new mates down there. And I went to London on the Monday. So that's Friday, that's Saturday, Sunday, Monday of the bank holiday. And then I'd gone up on my ones, met up with some mates there. And then they were all like, not going to party after. It's like, we've been locked up for 2 years. Like, why aren't you partying? And they're like, oh, we've got work. Scottish Gemma, Helen Regan. And
come on, girls.
I called them Tuesday Tossers. That's they're still like known as like lovingly now. And then I had my Jon Snow, like, I'm king at North, bend the knee, like Liam Gallagher swagger, like, bounced out. But I was jibber jabber jaw because I was Sin Falls 2 weeks before at Cardiff Castle. So I thought I knew the set. So this time I thought, you know what, I know the set. Before the interval, let me just get a bit indulged and then I'll know what it's going to be like for like the encore. And then I did what I needed to do, and the dinner played straight through. So by the time it finished, I was flying. So I was just rolling around streets of London, and as I left, 3 Irish guys, which sounds like a joke, but 3 Irish guys walked past. I'm listening to Caribou, Can't Do Without You, because they were supporting, and I love Caribou. And then I got talking to them within 10 minutes. I knew them from a previous life, and I was like, boys, I'm coming to Dublin to see you. And they're like, what are you doing tonight? I was like, well, the Tuesday Tossers are fucking... I was like, come out with us. We were like, first photo we had, we're walking across the zebra crossing doing the Beatles thing, not knowing that we're going to be the incarnation, what would be the band. And it was just mega. It was just like, we just had a right good do, singing, Kings of Leon, Kasabian, taking over the streets of Dalston. And then went back to an afters, neighbours like banging on wall because we were like singing to Police too loud. And I left there knowing that I've done a lot of stuff and been to a lot of afters, but there was something special there. Hit up my boy Killian, told him my project because I felt I'd met him at a level that he didn't know what I was previous, like stand up, this or that. He just got on with music. So it was like, yo, I've got this project in mind. And he was the same. I was like, all right, sounds cool, but what's the name? I was like, Silverton Rascals. He was like, I'm in. I was like, right, I'm in. So then...
something about it that just catches your eye.
Thank you, bro. Like, it took me ages to come up with a name. And I'm coming up with a name before I knew I was in a band.
Yeah.
But I knew as soon as I nailed it, I was like, that's what it is, you know what I mean? And then I would travel back and forth to Dublin, and me and him was like making beats, and then he followed his passion with food and stepped away from the band, and then it was me and my boy Brander back in Leeds producing beats, and then I acquired a live band, which is my boy the Metronome sat over there, newly engaged Jake Wheatley, and my boy Deck Hogan.
Selling power tools by day.
Yeah.
Drumming by
and
night.
slamming power tools at night. and then Deck Hogan on the bass, and they've been my brothers in arms, really. Like, been my, we try to get someone else to try play like lead guitar, but for me, I need to know that when my band's on it, I don't need to look behind to see what they're doing. I know that they've got my back, and I can just be focused out front, and that's what I know I can do with these. And then when Killian came back, it was just completion, and it's like I know they've got my back, so I can be fully out there. So I think, honestly, like, I'm very biased, but energy-wise, will come for anyone. Like, we'll put it on anyone's toes. Like, and that's love. I think it should be raised like that. It's not like an arrogant saying we're better than anyone. We want to bring the best out of everyone by believing that we're in our best.
Man. You're not doing it just to be like average. You're doing it because you believe in it, and that's where you want to go. So you're right. You know what I mean?
Weirdly, I think I was thinking about it. I think what I love is there's a quintessential earnest Britishness to it. And like, I've never, like, you know, when you put on your like your CV, and I put Black British, you know, I was Black Caribbean. Obviously, my roots are Jamaican, but Bradford and Yorkshire is what I know. Do you know what I mean? So I put Black British, but I'm very proud of my Caribbean roots. But I think in these lyrics, there's something very quintessential that is like the struggle and the pain, but the beauty of just meeting mates and living that life and knowing that even though the shit's there and it should be pointed at and called out, it don't matter. Well, it does matter and it should be called out. But the unity for everybody is what will elevate us all. And I feel like that's what our gift in the music is. And I just know that when it lands, because it'll connect, it will connect. And when it does, it'll just be like, boom. And that's it, man. Like, game, set, and match.
It's so interesting talking to someone from Bradford, because I don't get to do it very often on a podcast. And there is a different energy about it. Like, Liverpool's got its own thing going on. Bradford's got its own thing going on. But I think I wanted to run away. I'm not going to lie. Like, I got to 18 and I'd had enough of it. I really had. I'd had enough of it. And some of that's a political thing. I think there's some of it's, I can't really put my finger on it. It just didn't feel cultured to me in a weird sense.
Mate, a lot of people won't realise that city had a fucking derelict hole in it for like fucking 9-10 years. There was no inspiration.
I think that's it. I think, right, so apart from the 1 in 12, right, and the Beehive, when I first started playing, there weren't really anywhere else for us to go, man. And like, they were beautiful because they actually had a rebellious attitude about them. Like, 1 in 12 was mega. And, you know, playing there since I was like 14, 15, 16, 17.
Still going?
Still going now. And it's, for those that don't know, the 1 in 12 was the unemployment rate, like, of people. So that, and it's like an anarchist club. So you got a lot of punk bands. They've got an anarchist library upstairs. It was a members-only club, but actually they gave opportunity to people. So I played in an acoustic duo, and we'd be supporting punk bands. So we'd have to bring a certain energy to our shows
to prove to the crowd.
You're like, I can't just go on singing like melodic sweet shit because I've got to like bring it. And it defined how I started playing. So I've kind of like molded that into like the blues side of that. So we used to play like Kanye West covers, so we'd be doing Stronger but Dead Fast and like In Your Face, and then we'd have our own stuff as well, which was almost like that energy. And then now it's kind of morphed into, I like that early blues stuff that has that energy and that attitude and that, like, it's not perfect, but you can, you know, some of them early blues like Howlin' Wolf records, they still sound good now.
Yeah, but I think the thing with early blues is there's so much pain. It's just because you don't get to listen to the originals, so a lot of artists might have stolen the identity of what the true feeling of those tracks were and put it into what their side is, so it might come across a bit more pop and more
a bit
palatable.
Watered down still.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that sparked me kind of going, how can I do things differently? And to be honest, my music career has been on and off. I've done loads of stuff with like theatre, I've done loads of stuff with in the bars wearing, I've played for other people, and I've enjoyed that. Like, I've enjoyed it not really being about me so much as it used to be back in the day. It was like, I'm the singer and I do this and this is the direction I want to go, and I've enjoyed following as well, which I didn't think I would. So I played a gig on Sunday for one of my good friends, Naomi Campbell, not the supermodel. My good friend Naomi Campbell.
Well, that was
Campbell.
The most casual name drop ever. No. Naomi's, yeah.
But she's quality. She's in a band called Motel Sundown, has been for years, and they're doing this Americana, lovely harmonies, like impressive like songwriting. And she started a solo project that's more, I suppose she'll forgive me if I'm going off topic, Naomi, but it's more like that kind of raw, slow Etta James blues thing. And like, she sang in the blues band that I had, and watching her come out of a shell from being like more of a folk singer to going, I have got a powerful voice and I'm going to sing about heartbreak, I'm going to sing about things I want to sing. The other night I was only playing percussion for her, but just being on stage with her, seeing where she was 10 years ago to now, I'm like, shit, man, like, it's exciting.
I wonder if you could ask her, like, has that come from the confidence in her performing over those years and in her writing and her finding her identity, or has that just come in knowing that you belong?
And maybe a bit of both. Like, you get to your like late 20s and you do start to feel a bit more comfortable with what you believe in and who you are, don't you? And I definitely did. Like, when we got the bars, I kind of went, I feel like this is right. And I hadn't really felt like that. I felt like I was jobbing and gigging and working.
Like, if someone asked you what you were doing, you didn't feel like you could be like, I'm doing that, and almost be like, not proud, but like, they're going to look back and be like, oh, well done.
Kinda. But more in myself. I've never really been that bothered about what other people think. Not in an arrogant way, just like in a, I like the look of that, I'm going to go for it. But I'd always be like, oh, I'm working on a few bits, but I'm still in hospitality, I'm a waiter, I'm whatever. And now I'm like, oh, I've got 2 bars in Liverpool, and we're a grassroots music venue, and this is what we do, and we support these people.
And giving opportunities. You were just saying before about the DJ competitions, the Battle of the Band competitions. Like, it's very, very grassroots. And even, bring it back to me rocking in, like, just giving us a chance, you know what I mean? Like, you need that. I think there's, like, this weird dichotomy that it's something's missing in between. There's there and there's there, but sometimes if you can't get in there because it's connected, you can't even try to get there.
We talk about this quite a lot. There's definitely a mid-level thing going on where we could do grassroots gigs, and then you've got your stadium gigs or your big sellout or 2 kind of gigs. You haven't got that like nurture all the way through. I think Leeds has got it a bit better than Liverpool. I think Leeds has got like the Brudenell is definitely somewhere that
Shout out Nath.
They're absolutely crushing it, and that model of it being in an old social club but being a gig venue, and
but still, so we were there the other week, we were there the other day, and it's not like it's like changed to the point where it's still catering for the new crowd. It's still like fucking $3.50 a pint and $2.50 a single, and the bar staff still know like the regulars' names. Like, it's still a fucking social club. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still mix, like a fact of like residents and locals that you must know, and then the gig side's the bonus, but the gig side's the generating side of it, and they're not coming at it like trying to bleed the other side. It's like you could have fucking Tom Jones play in that room, and you'll have your regulars arguing over pool. Do you know what I mean?
And part Brudenell was part of my inspiration about here, and not so much the actual like aesthetics, but the way that you did have like old, young, black, white, like musicians, poets. It was about going, they can all be together. It don't like everyone wants the same things essentially.
But Nath as well, right, is the sort of person like Nath supported me in my stand-up trajectory, like from jump. He was like, I like what you're about, I like your chat, we'll sort you a room. How we're going to do it for free, and don't do it for free because you're not putting any value on your product, and also you're just going to have people that are going to come in and they're not investing in it, and just the subtle advice that guy gives to people and the time. And he's so busy. I couldn't even imagine like the amount. I was chatting with him. He's got gigs already for like back in the 25, maybe 26, and not just at the Brood. At like he did put Fontaines on at the arena. The Academy's got Caribou next year. Like, he's all over it. Do you know what I mean? He sits on talks and panels with Melvin Ben from like Festival Republic, and like he's really sought after in that respect. He's done Radio 4 interviews about the industry because we know what it's going through and that. And yet he'll still give like someone time and put calls in and just be like, "You all right, mate? Like, I'll give you like."
And if you don't have people like that, it don't drive the industry, does it? So you need individuals and you need collectives equally. You need to be able to go. That individual has the keys to certain doors.
100%.
And then when people come through with ideas, they can give them the ideas, and if they deliver on the ideas,
then
you can give them an opportunity.
Because you've but. There's a lot of people in my city that aren't like that. Like, there's a lot of people that are, and there's a lot of people that see what it's about, and there's a lot of people that I think see the greater goal of, like, if I pop and we pop, like, I'll put this city on my back. Do you know what I mean? I'll ride into the fucking in the ether for it. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's some people that get that. Like, Nate's one of them people that gets that. Like, he got a shout out from English teacher when they won their Mercury Prize. You know what I mean? And shout out Launchpad as well. Like, Launchpad are a not-for-profit organisation that help up-and-coming grassroots artists understand how to put the music out, distribute it, understand the music industry, put you on supporting lineups, or like just give you advice. Like, there's these people behind the scenes that you've got to seek out, but are there and willing to help the underdog. And I just think like there's a lot of people that are, but when you get in the right people that are, like, it's a lifeline. Because I felt April this year, going back to it, replying and not getting a reply from venues and fucking so much shit, and it's just one man show, just like trying to rock up, figure it out, and then you're like, all right, and you lose in your head. It's like, all right, nah, this is right, this feels right. I'm not like winding myself up here, so how do I figure it out? And then it's like meeting the right people and them guiding you or offering your advice and then figuring your way out of that. But you need those conversations, like especially Claire Hamilton sorted my head out so much, man. Launchpad and, as I say, Nath, like, but then also, I'll tell you what I've been guilty of is maybe going to a Nath or some people too early.
Yeah.
With certain stuff, like I think it's good for advice at the point I'm at, but maybe going, we're ready for this, ready for that, and in his eyes we're not, and it's like knowing the right time to present yourself properly and be like, no, we're ready now, and not try burn bridges. Do you know what I mean?
Just
and
fleshing your ideas out before you just go bang. We're all guilty of it. We're all like, I want to do this, bang, and actually think about it. Think about the marketability. Think about whether it'll work in that space. Think about who else you need to speak to. We've got a good guy in Liverpool that sits on the council, because Liverpool's a UNESCO city of music. So Kevin McManus, who is ahead of that, will give you the time of day every single time. But the best results come when you go to him with a plan and you go, listen, this is what I want to do. Can you either A, connect me with the right people, or B, is there a funding avenue I can look at? And like, I'd urge any musicians that have got projects and plans to think about your local venues and like promoters, but also don't be scared of like council organisations. I know that they've got a bad name sometimes, I know, but there are good people within that you'll find, and they'll help you.
I think like, say like you're sounding like the Nath of this city in respect to, if I went to Nath and then Nath knew there was some funding and it went through me and via Nath in the right capacity, not nepotism, but like in a way that it was like, right, nah, he's delivered it, his form's amazing, have a look at this. I think that works. I think there's another side to it where it don't. But what I'd say and where I'm at the moment is, we've just had a year of live where we've made an impression, but next year I think we're going to be a bit like, it's the right word, we're going to take a bit of a hiatus live. I think we're going to build our world live. Like Tyler the Creator dropped Chromacopia and it just blew my mind in the way that in 2 weeks the fucking Buzzy drilled, and then obviously Kendrick doing that. And you know, like, I just think like there's a lot that can be said for the world in and around the music, and I know we've proved it live, but now can we maybe like set up something for 6 months next year and build the anticipation of people that have seen us live, and then build an audience that haven't seen us live but love what we're doing online. Not like clickbaity shit, just like creating the world, like just got different ideas.
Tyler has always thought about the bigger project on it, and like his marketing for this was amazing.
Insane.
And you wanted to see when it came out, you're like, what the fuck is this
exactly
about?
Like, what's this? What is it? What are you about? Like, what is
it?
it?
Even the cover art, you're like, what is he saying?
The cover art, that like making up a word. So people trying to figure out what even Chromacopia meant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's an amazing podcast on Spotify called Dissect. It's fucking sick.
I've been listening to the Dochi one today, the actual interview one. Because that was another thing that came out fully formed, but it didn't. You know, like when you go, fucking hell, this girl just appeared.
Yeah, because I think like Dochi's like in obviously obvious but like true comparison Sims. It's like understanding your voice and knowing where you want to go, and I feel like that's where we're at the moment. Is like, I think live we've nailed it, and I've written so many songs that like some are more suitable for like summer. It's like, I look at Kneecap, I look at like a new band called Fuckers, and like they've got sends, do you know what I mean? And like respect. It's like, could we have some sends that are like constant sends to put us in that wheelhouse? But also we've got other bits that are just like no one's touching, and it's like, you know, is it a matter of being smarter with the stuff that's going to hook people? Like, you know, like a Jay-Z with a H to the is, or an Eminem with My Name Is, and then you get the album, then all of a sudden you fucking listen to fucking Role Model or some shit like that, do you know what I mean? Or something a bit deeper. So there's a lot of like ways of going about it next year, but I think like what we want to do is do a lot more live location stuff and build the world and build that community. Because when we did live at Leeds, which again was through Launchpad, I was gonna throw some shade at some shit then. Fuck it, with Bradford out, we're right. So like, I want to shout out Matt Bowman from Pigeon Detectives, because he's one of them people that like obviously has travelled the world for so long, and he took a real vested interest, like with mates, but he loves the music, like always offering advice. And I think he's one of the best front men of a generation. I really do. His energy, how he like jumps up and down and gets the crowd going. Like honestly, Bowman will put it on people's toes, and I'll stand by that. I really will. So like, he was trying to get us on at Live at Leeds, and behind the scenes, people were just like no, and it's like Bowman's got high weight in that, and I was like, all right, whatever. And then we ended up getting a spot through Launchpad, which is amazing. And then the night before this festival, I put up just going Live at Leeds. We're on at 3:30 at Cellar Bar. We're going to steal the show. And they took it down. I was like, who in Future Sound's got beef with us, or why are people taking that down? We didn't no swearing, no. We're going to steal the show. So it put a proper bee in my bonnet. I was like, nah, mate, like, that's out of order. Like, you're trying to fuck with us. So I went with that attitude, and we did steal the show. Like, the bar knows it, everyone in that venue. But that was one of them shows where I knew 5 people in the building, and after that, it was packed with maybe 80, 90 people that I didn't know. I didn't even know they were there for us. It was one in, one out. People coming up at the end going, mate, we've had you on a playlist, send you to my mates. Like, we've had you listening. Like, people had us in, like, it was weird. They had the K's, they had, like, English teacher, and they had Silverton Rascals of who to watch that day. And it was like, mad, it's real. So it's like, can we create a world? Because obviously there's a world outside of my mates and trying to build it from that. Can we create more compelling content that is going to draw the attention of a wider audience? Because the song's clearly doing it. So can we nail that? So I really want to get into that zone in 6 months of trying to do that, or aiming to do that and nailing that, and then fingers crossed be on the festival run next year, so that by September time we might have only gig support slots and festivals, but by the time we come back we've got a city behind us again. So we had a show in Leeds on Saturday, and I just couldn't connect, mate, and it's a bit painful. That's why you're going to get a show tonight. There's a lot of shit to be burnt out.
But you've also got to like look at it as a, you're not going to have a perfect show every night, and that's
but
fine,
everyone says this, and I get that, right? But for me, my continuum is that the continuum of focus, of consistency is, I can always say it's a crowd, or not always have a good show, or it's me, and what can I do? Because I'm the only consistent in that set. So, like, I just know that, like, it's like a footy game. If you have a bad game, you just want to have a good performance. And I felt I was on form on Saturday, but for whatever reason, it didn't connect. But tonight, like, it's going to... And don't get me wrong, it was positive. Like, I had Arsenal drew against Fulham, which annoyed me. And I had, like, a mini breakdown about that and the performance the night before. And then I was like, all right, wrote a couple of songs, got in good frame of mind, went for a walk, chilled, had a bit of time to myself, had a good laugh, and I was like, all right, mate, like trust me, if it was a fucking flicker before, it's an inferno now. And I swear, bro, like, this interview will be played back in years, and we're like, this boy's not fucking let down his words, I'm telling you.
And then not to kind of bring it back to a dark place, but do you feel like your drive's definitely like come out of the fact that you managed to deal with whatever was going on addiction-wise, whatever that was? Has the drive now come out of that, or did you always have that and that were fucking with it? Do you know what I mean?
It's a good question, that.
Was it always there, but you were being like suppressed by whatever other shit were going on, or have you dealt with this so well that you've gone, actually, I've got clarity in mind now, and I know what I want?
I think a bit of both. I think I always had my chat. That's just Bradford. I think Bradford, you either survive by scraps or you chat, and I'm a pacifist. Unfortunately, I could chat my way out of my shit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I'd be lippy, gobby, but, like, witty. So, like, people would, like, and they'd, like, all right, you know what I mean? I was that guy. And then when I sort of started going on my downward spiral, I really, like, lost my voice to the point where I was so much in my head, it was scary. So when I reclaimed myself and built myself back up, I always said that I'd never be afraid to speak my mind because I've earned the right to speak. So what I'm talking about now is a passion of somebody that's been at my darkest, lowest step and has earned the right for me to speak. I'm speaking about myself. But then the other bit that you said, have you always had it and seen it? I think I have, but because of what we're producing and what we're making and seeing the response and just, you know, I've done the best apprenticeship. You know, you asked earlier about I've come from a music background. I've not, but what I have come from is a music background. I've been at every single gig, at every single festival across the fucking world, from Burning Man to Glastonbury, numerous times. You know what I mean? Seeing my best bands, having a taste and knowing what I like, and then knowing what I'm delivering and writing is of a similar ilk of taste that I get a sensation of.
And seeing different stuff. Like, I mean, my music takes is same as yours. It's eclectic, man. And one of the biggest influences for me was Mike Skinner. And what I mean, we followed them on tour when we were like 17, 18 for like 2 years, and just seeing how we got the crowd. And like, if you think about where he came from original Pirate Material to the live shows, it's not the same product, but it is. Like, it's elevated, and like, it don't matter what you're doing, but
he knows he's now a psychological fucking positive manipulator. Like, I remember seeing him at Beef for Rocks, and he got everyone to jump in the swimming pool at the end. I've seen him, like, he can get everyone doing anything. Like, he's now more about what he can do with his psyche to the crowd.
Yeah.
But the songs are still the thing.
Yeah, look, I mean, in the last kind of 10 years, he hasn't brought out an extended project. It's always been quite bitty, I think. So, like, you've had a really good run from original Pirate Material all the way up to probably... I don't know, really. It's hard, and he hasn't had an extended... He's kind of still in the zeitgeist, but I don't think he's brought anything out audio-wise that fresh and that new. He's kind of stuck to a similar thing.
The only thing I'd give to you is there's the last... What was the album that he did with... he had Tame Impala on it, a masterpiece.
Yeah,
there's a tune that's like... you feel it. Wrong Answers Only. Answers Only is a banger. So he's... And fucking... Take me as I am. Watch me as I go. So I say that it's good bangers.
But there were moments, right?
Yeah.
Whereas he were doing movements, and actually what he's done is, I think he's changed the way that he connects to people to his live stuff, and he's producing and he's mentoring. So he was at the forefront of them first few albums. I mean, my favourite album is the B-side to Computers and Blues when he released Cyberspace and Reds. I thought that was amazing. And it was all B-side and kind of like demo stuff that he brought out, which was class. But since them projects, he's gone from, and I suppose this is kind of how I feel in some respects, I've gone from wanting to create them seminal bits of work to actually being like, I'm quite happy with the mentoring side of things, or like helping people that I might have a piece of information now that'll help someone, which I don't think that was in my mind when I was 24, 25.
But now you've got the wisdom to share.
And not even anything like deep. I'm not even talking deep.
Yeah, that was deep what he said before. I was trying to register that. He went, he's creating moments before he was creating movements. That's a bar.
But that's how I felt. Like he were forefront of that, like mix, but he was cross genre. Indie kids liked him, rock kids liked him, rappers liked him, and he hadn't really done an extended project, but he's present in a lot of other stuff. I think it's interesting. I don't know what that means. I just think it's interesting.
I think that it's the live show bit, because I think when you go see him live currently, like, he still plays all the tunes that you want him to play. I think the new tunes have a home. I really do. And then he knows how to style it out with like the tunes that you want to wear as well. And I just think he's like, I've always said, he's an heirloom. I think like there's certain people that reach a certain status where like you respect, like I believe I'm writing groundbreaking work now. I'm 41, and I believe I'm writing groundbreaking work that, like, when it's all said and done, will be put with the greats, like with wit and bars. I really do. If I didn't think that or was delivering that, why am I doing it? And I believe it will be proved when it's all said and done. This guy was doing it at 22.
Yeah.
Like, Alex Turner was doing it at fucking 17. And I think it's only when you get into an ilk where you feel like you found your flow and your taste and your tone and your writing, that you actually look back at these greats and you understand why they are greats, because how are they striking a chord at that?
Yeah.
So I think, you know, you got to think Skins, like, step two at Skins, like, is my boy. Silver Skins. Like, Mike Skinner stepped away from, like, making music for 10 years because he was trying to make his film, and, you know, then started to get back into the writing. And I really loved on one of the last projects, I was bringing people through who were like footwear, like Hat Baker, what's the name? Is it Green Tea?
Green Tea Peng.
Yeah. Idols, Tame Impala, fucking Masterpiece, Ocean Wisdom. few more, but like
it's what I mean. I feel like since his like solo stuff or album stuff,
he's wanting to bring other people.
He's coming through with people.
But then you got to think, right? So for me, Kano's the GOAT, like certified GOAT, and you got to think, right? I don't know if people like appreciate that he also got mentored by Mike Skinner and Damon Albarn, which is insane to think.
But that makes so much sense when you see him now, because he's got his flow's ridiculous and his cadence is ridiculous, his lyrics ridiculous. But then he recognised early that the way to break the TV, break the festival circuit was to have a band behind him.
Yeah.
And we have a big thing at the minute about like Liverpool don't have enough rappers that aren't on track anymore. There's a few coming through, like Kodge. Kodge is smashing it, man.
I think I seen him other week at Svara. Is he a mixed race guy?
Yeah,
was he supported Hugh Chatter from Corrupt FM?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
he does
he's
a
got
night
bars.
called Tribe, which is about bringing people through. But he's the one who started to realise, and his flow's unreal, his lyrics are great, but there's so many others in Liverpool at the minute. And I think what we've had some discussions about, I mean, we've got my mate Kof upstairs who did that, and you've got like a guy called Daisy, and then there's about another 20, 30 lasses that are all doing it, and we need to start to get to a point where, how do you break out of the mould of where you're from? And I think Kano did that really well, because he went, I want a band. That means that like Glastonbury's nailed on, to be honest. Like if it was just with a DJ, I don't know if he'd get them Glastonbury sets.
So you know what's interesting is, so I remember Made in the Manor dropping, and it was because he did the freestyle on Charlie's Sloth, which is still to this day it is the greatest fire in the booth. It's the greatest fire in the booth.
And I don't get how people say it isn't. It's
mad,
mate.
Now tell me who's best, me or Wretch?
Mate.
Come on, man. Like,
I mean, the Wretch one's all right, but it's nowhere near as sophisticated.
But the way that he calls it out at the end is just goatified. But
what's he say? He goes, Charlie's Love goes, and in one take, and he goes like, what? It's not all in one take.
One take.
Like fucking hell, lad.
Like I saw him at Leeds Fest, literally just after that, and it was him and a DJ, but it was headline, but it was in a tent. And then the summer after, I saw him at Glasgow, and it was a band. It was headlining part.
The brass
he had the brass,
night, mate.
And he got him a wheel up.
Yeah, mate.
So my point to you, right, is
guard. Yeah.
So my point to you, right, is how do you get that? And it's money. So if you're up and coming aspiring artist, MC, all you've got is your DJ. I saw Koji Radicals. Honestly, like underratedly phenomenal.
He supported. First time I saw Koji Radical, he was supporting Kano at the Albert Hall.
Did he have a band or was he DJ?
He had DJ.
So I've seen Koji with DJ when his album dropped, to promote his album, to get people to go see him with a band. 100%. And he stuck about and talked to people, and I asked him, and it's money. So you were explaining before about the orchestra piece, everything like that. So can you, again, the NAFRO, like, can you be the middle person? Can you be like, yo, like, you need a band, I've got musicians here, but then it's the cost, innit?
That's the plan for next year, right, is working with a few artists. So there's myself here, I've got Kof from Go Play Studios, and I've got Jazz from UK Now Carib. We're setting a bit of a focus group, and the idea is genre blending. So it's about going, who from this genre don't know this person from this genre, right? And if we can do some projects that we earmark throughout the year that encourages that. It can be big, they can be small, they can be, in this bar, they can be on the street, whatever. But it's about going, you need to start working together more, because there'll be elements of the rap scene that will really influence the indie scene and vice versa.
Massive.
But I just don't think we're encouraged to do it enough. So we are on it. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of contradicting myself, because I actually I saw Kendrick for the first time with a DJ when he dropped Good Kid Mad City. So we bought tickets the week before he dropped Good Kid Mad City, and they were like 15 quid. And then 2 weeks after he dropped it, we were in the snow, in the queue, and people were offering us like 400 quid. Right? Moment in time, right? And he were only with a DJ, right? I've seen that, and that was unreal. So
but then have you seen him with a band?
But then I've seen him since.
You know what I'm saying? But I think the thing is, when you've got a DJ, you've got to, so if you've got a DJ, and Kano don't do this, but others do, they play the track behind the artist. And I think if you've got a DJ, you just got to have the DJs you fill. So it's like, no DJ just beat and then maybe a fill at the end, so it just enhances the end. When you're just spitting over, I think MCs get a bit lazy, and it's like they rely on the track. And then who's that? Is it D Block or some stuff like that? Honestly, mate, I was walking past it and it's in no shade, but I was walking past at Leeds Fest. Every song was about 1 minute and 30 seconds, and all they did was like crowd, and it was just the track playing. It was walking up and down stage. Like, that's what people might be into, but there's no like skill to that performance or etiquette there. And I think like there's so many people that have a DJ and rely on the track that's behind rather than wanting to still send it. Yeah. You can still work with a DJ and do that, but you've still got to believe that it's a performance that you're putting out.
I mean, going back to like Dochi, I suppose now she has a DJ, but then she also has elements coming in and out. She has some more of the performing arts elements to it, which is eye-catching, but then her flow's unreal as well.
Yeah, so. But then also you've got like, so I remember seeing, again, don't know if the name's allowed to be said at the moment, but Jay-Z, and I saw him with a band at Glasgow, but he's still like on 99 Problems. Second verse, it switched into a AC/DC Back to Black.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
you can throw stuff in.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to throw shade on rappers who sing with DJs at all. I just think we need to at least give them the option for that. Like, I think if you want to do it with a DJ, sweet. If you make it work for you, fine. We want to give everyone that performs in any genre the option to have access to whatever they want. That's why the orchestra started for me. Like, meeting Gaia was amazing because she kind of reminded me of me when I was 24, going, there's no for me here. And I went, I can help you at least set up like a structure. You've got the quality to get the product. And then if I can add some bits in from my side, going, have you ever thought about playing with blah? Surely we're better off as a massive unit.
But that's it. It's community in it, and it's not just community in one city. It's like, you know, you've got the jump in Liverpool, and then, you know, I've got Leeds, got Manny, to be fair, and London. There's various pockets. I'm sure you've got like you said Bristol to me like a minute ago. Like.
No, maybe not. I don't know. That's
I'm sure you
like,
but there's other. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, but all you know is like the right people in the right cities are on the right mission, and all of a sudden there'll just be this call out where it'll be like, oh, do you know so and so? We're based there, and then you just got a unit. But what are Rough Trade doing in the city? They're doing all right.
To be honest, since they've come in, I've not even been in. I don't know really. It was met with a little bit of like trepidation because
that's what Scousers are like though, aren't they?
Kinda. We have a good thing going with the Jacaranda. So the Jack and Phase 1 we're doing that Rough Trade vibe and still are. So they moved just across the road to the Baltic now. So you got the Jack Baltic who they got Bastille on tonight. So 400 Cat Bastille album signing show, man.
Well, I saw they had Libertines back in February.
They had who did they have last week? Can't remember. I mean, everyone's gone for it. Miles Kane. I saw who's the lad who does the Perfect Pitch stuff? You know, Jacob Collier. Saw Jacob Collier there with 300 other people. And like then the week after I was at Glastonbury and he was in front of thousands. So I think the trepidation was, we're already doing it, we don't want it to come and bulldoze it. And I don't think it has. But I think that was always back to people's heads going, I don't quite trust this. But from online at least, I've seen they've got some good shows on, they're connecting with the community, they're kind of doing the right thing.
Have they reached out to you lot?
No, we don't get reached out to much really, to be honest with you, by other venues. It tends to be the other way around. I don't think that's a malicious thing. I don't think we're big enough. I think we're a little bit of everything. I mean, you look around now and people are having a tea, and then we're setting up for a gig, and in about half an hour they'll have gone wherever they're going, and we'll get people in that want to see music. I just don't think we make sense to a lot of the big dogs. I don't think they know what we are. And we've got, you know...
Even with the studios upstairs?
I don't know. It's a tough one, man. We're quite open about ourselves and what we are and what we want to be. Don't get me wrong, we're pally with, like, especially the Jacaranda and them guys. They are doing some good work, and we'll throw each other stuff if it's not suitable for each other's venues. There's a good venue just around the corner set up back called Arc. Just set up by a couple who used to tour manage Space back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, mate, I love Space back in the day.
So one of the lads from Space, and then their two kind of tour managers have set this up, and it's the Acoustic Room Coffee. So it's on back at Camp and Furnace. It's smaller than here, Boss sound system, and they're going, look, we're gonna push the limits of what shows we put on, and bookings and shows, and In fact, it'd be worth getting in touch with them and as another Liverpool option. But
beautiful neighbourhood, my beautiful neighbourhood.
I mean, they're still touring.
Yeah, me and my boy Danny Lawler at school used to sing that all the time. Who lives in a house like this? That was a right tune.
They're still doing it. They're still out every other week.
They have Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie, what was it?
Nana, you and me against Nana. Look up there in the sky now.
What was the proper famous one?
No. I first met you hanging knickers on the line from the moment I knew that there could only be one outcome, me and you versus the world forever. You are no folks somewhere, I'm just a joke, but we made a vow. Fucking love Space,
I feel like we're on a playground.
Mate, I love Space. That is wow.
They're doing good stuff. And everyone's connected. I mean, this building alone, you've got the Zootons passing through, you've got Echo and the Bunnymen, but then you've also got new people like MT Jones, Casino, Rainmaker.
What's that fucking band? What are the fucking called? Like Monks. Monks look like they're doing scenes. Yeah, Monks look like their sounds mint.
There's a band called Quayside doing bits. There's Pixie's doing bits. Rihanna Downey.
Pixies. I clocked Pixie early doors, and then did she have a song represent the Women's World Cup or something like that?
Yeah, it was either one of her originals got on one of the football channels, and then she did a cover of the Charlatans' "Only One I Know," which might have been the World Cup. She's had two. One's one of her originals as like the title music, and one was the "Only One I Know" cover of that, which is quality, man.
Yeah.
She's based here. She's doing really well. Rihanna Downey is now singing with Paul Eaton.
From
And she moved here from Scotland a couple of years ago, but she's smashing it, man.
As well. Yeah, her wins are amazing. Young lass.
It's quality.
Yeah, good on her. That's all based here.
Not so. You've got people that have got permanent rooms here. You've also got recording studios here, and you've also got like hourly rehearsal rooms. So you see it pass through, and part of the nice thing is everyone just is themselves in here. Like you don't get any egos. You just get everyone kind of like, and you see, especially Dave from the Zootons, you see him taking a keen interest on the new bands coming up, and they mentor each other, and
that's what I feel cool. Like what Matt Bowman from Pigeons has been like with us. You know, I really like. You know, they've seen it all. They've fucking lived it and seen it all. I think people underestimate Zootons, man, but like, you know, writing a song like Valerie and obviously it been took into another world how it was, man, just shows the power of that song. Just because another artist was able to create it at something else, just shows the power of that writing. Do you know what I mean?
You see they covered Amy Winehouse in a live lounge.
Yeah.
That's a good move.
That's a flex. It's a flex.
Good move. But it's just part of the atmosphere, and it's part of the like city. It's part of the culture. I think we've got a long way to go. I think we need to unite a little bit and go, what do we actually want to say as a city? Like, everyone can have their own individual stuff, but what's actually, like, I hate to do this, but even if you take it back to the Mersey Beat thing, there was a sound coming out of it, and I'm not saying everyone needs to be in the same style of band, but I think we need to look at it as we are a collective, whether we like it or not. And you could even broaden that to the north and go, we are a collective. Or even England.
England. I do love my southern edge, but I know what you're saying. It feels like a northern
we could work together. And whether that's me reaching out to other venues and going, let's do a grassroots co-pro on a tour for someone, but let's link all our venues.
But then it's like, so my boys at Svada, it's like, couldn't it be somewhat where it's like, there's like DJ sets there and then they do it till that time and then everyone comes through here and then it's the bands at this time and then there's a DJ set at Camp and Furnace or like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, rather than clashing with everyone, it's like, right, let's like set that to that to that. But, your audience is going to be spread thin otherwise.
I agree. But the beauty is we've got good working relationships with everybody. But the thing is, because we're struggling as a country financially
in the nighttime industry.
I do think you look after your own bread quite a bit, and you've got to try and see beyond that because it will change. It has to change. So you've got to start. I mean, it's me really. It's me going to people. Shall we work together? Shall we do this? Could we do this? What about this? If it don't work, fuck it. Don't worry about it. And I think it's important that more people do start having open conversations and stop trying to gatekeep.
No, gatekeep's a strong word, mate. And weirdly, I think
like a bit tight,
I don't know from your perspective there, but I think that the industry is ruined by gatekeepers. I think like when I look at.
I don't find that in Liverpool too much though.
But I don't know if I'm on about venues. I'm on about like certain positions of labels and certain positions of the industry. The industry. This term you must do this a bit. Like it's like it's full of gatekeepers, bro. It's like until like you pop and then all of a sudden they want everyone who's going to be like you, and it's like well you've just been on their toes. Like why don't you like bring them through and A&R it? Because everyone's got a bit fucking convenient and lazy because they want the following. They want the artists to build themselves to be in a position where they don't even need help, and then just fucking rinse it and utilise it, and like, it's like bollocks. Like
you see that too much, to be fair.
Massively, man, massively. So
rather than building everyone up, you almost just latching on when they get big and when they've done the hard work,
and then you're just rinsing them for what they've got, and then just rinsing them dry, and then that's it, on to the next. Whereas like, where's the loyalty? Where's the like actual like growth? Like weirdly, Dua Lipa was one that was like someone that was proper like. I was speaking with someone and like they brought her through and like I see it and I like, do you know what? Dua Lipa's a G, man. Do you know what I mean? Proper superstar. When you see her live, I saw her at Primavera. She was on before Tyler, so I had a good spot at Tyler because I've got 2 stages. So I got a good spot for Tyler and watched Dua, and man, she's a star. But like you can see why people stuck with her through that. But it's like I just think the industry at the moment is. Like, you know, me coming here or me getting a coach to London because trains were on strike and going to venues and that. It's like there's artists that have a better voice than me and maybe more like gifted in certain areas than me, like not be able to do what I can do, but they might not have the drive as me. And, you know, you speak to people in the industry and gatekeepers and always like, well, you know, don't take no for an answer and you've got to be resilient. Yeah, I get that. But, like, what are we in it for? We're in it for the ones who are fucking... delusional, fucking not going to take no for an answer, believe in fucking what we have, off beautiful creatives who might be sensitive and might be put off by somewhat, but that's their delicateness that they're putting into their songs, and all of a sudden because they can't reach out to someone or maybe are hindered by that side of it, what we're just going to like cut them off because I'm in it for creativity. I want to hear their story. So that's what I mean by gatekeepers. It's like, why should you have to jump so many hurdles and barriers and this and that before you even considered? Like, mate, look at the Grammys. Like, everyone who's been nominated this year as newcomer, they've all been in it for fucking 10, 12 years.
Yeah, it is mental. I know, and it puts people off like trying. I think you get to a certain point where you're like, what's the point? Because so and so just get it. But
that's not down to their talent or gift, is it? And that's what I'm saying is like, are we in it to nurture the greatest creative elements and talents and gifts and voices and stories and elements of vision of their inner world and society and their fucking connection and purity and storytelling and connection and just fucking that creative essence? Are we in it to hear this and experience the world from everyone's point of view, or are we in it because someone fucking stuck in there? And that ain't shared on like I'm stuck in there, do you know what I mean? Because I believe I've got both sides, but like just because I've got both sides and I'm battling that way and we'll get there, don't mean that I don't want to knock that down for other people that might not. And I just think sometimes, like, you know, a lot of people will be like teachers or like fucking music teachers or whatever it may be. They could have been somewhere and then they want to pass it on to the next, but it don't mean that they shouldn't have or couldn't have their time. And I pray like my age as well shows that, like, you know, I feel like people are engaged and in tune with our tunes because we're talking about life, and I feel like it don't matter about age, like life's life, do you know what I mean? And as long as you got a story to tell and connect, like, keep at it, do you know what I mean? Because you'll find your audience if your message and your clarity and purity is right. And I just feel like that's what I mean, the gatekeepers. Like, there's so many people in this music industry that are in the industry and not in the music, and they know how to create barriers that they keep in a job. How is it that musicians are struggling so much? Yeah, look at Kate Nash. How is it that musicians, the people that are fucking creating this thing for the industry, how is it that they're at the bottom of the totem pole financially, mentally, like, been brought down? Yeah, how is it that that is the thing? And yet these people that are on a salary or are able to like fucking gaslight and drain it, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's bollocks. It's like, it needs to be flipped and need to be looked at, and that's why you need these independent voices to unite and connect so that we create our own movement. Because look, mate, disco, hip hop, punk, fucking whatever music, like grime, whatever music that stands out is about fucking backlash and going against the oppression of society, right? And then it gets monetized, then it becomes fucking commercialized, and then it gets rinsed for what it is, right? But there's always something that's the voice of the oppressed, yeah? And if we're as independents able to unite those voices of oppressed and set up our own like community up and down the country, then at the end of the day, if people want to get signed or do that or do that, whatever, but at least there's like a fucking grassroots way where they went that way fair, but the next ones are coming through because there's already a mechanism. Then before you know it, you don't just think, oh, I need to do a tour and I'm going to be at fucking Manchester and that's it. It's like, well, actually, you play there, but we know there. Yeah. So you can do Liverpool and then you can do Glasgow, so we know there. And before you know it, a 2-day tour becomes fucking 10 dates and your audience in each city is going to trust the venues to come through.
Yeah,
then you're doubling your fucking following. And then all of a sudden, then you've got the following that's been built to be able to have the socials to then fucking present yourself. Do you know what I mean? So it's important, like places like this and taking a run on us. Do you know what I mean? It is. So thank you.
I mean, that's where we're at, mate. We're definitely at that launch pad. I know they are a company, but we should be that. Come and try your shit out here, and then book somewhere else. And when you're confident and when you know what you are and what you want to be, and then the next person comes and they might see you playing here and go, I'm a bit like that, I can do that. Or if someone makes it, so there's a couple of people that have played for here that are now doing really well, and you get more people going, oh, so-and-so's played there, I'll go play there. And
you'll have a blue plaque here for us, mate, I swear down. Silverton Rascals, blue plaque on this wall.
Yeah, I'll get it straight up, mate. I'll get it straight up. Right, shall we might have to get on with
what time is it?
Music and that.
Yeah, calm. How long are we on for?
About an hour or so, I reckon.
An hour?
An hour, mate.
An hour?
An hour?
An hour? An hour? An hour? An hour? Representing Bradford, Silverton Rascals, Ben Random. Shout out for life, peace and light.
Thank you
Enjoy
very much,
the show.